Hi, this is Jason Taylor with the Law Offices of Jason E. Taylor. Hope you're doing well. It's been a little while since I've done one of these, but you may have stumbled across some of my prior recipes that I've done. While I practice law for a living, obviously I like to eat for fun and hobby, and done a lot more of that during COVID, unfortunately. I know probably you all have too, staying home and cooking more, and I needed or wanted to share some of the recipes we've enjoyed that I've done over the last however many months. I think Billy puts these on our website as Down on the Farm or something with Jason. I don't know, but I think it has like a red plaid tablecloth on there, and then you'll know you're getting into the recipes. Because sometimes there's other fun things to do other than legal issues, right? So I'm going to share a couple today, one at a time. I guess so. This first one is called, it's a seafood stew, and it's called a Cataplana stew. And interesting, Cataplana is both the name of the dish, and it is also the name of the kind of the cooking vessel, the thing you cook it in. Although you can do this in a Dutch oven, right? You don't, get a big cast iron pot or something, you can do it in that. I happen to have one of these Cataplana pots, which is kind of interesting. It looks like a kind of like a clam shell, and it has a hinged lid that at a certain point in the cooking process you can close that lid and seal it, just like putting a lid on a cast iron pot. So you don't really need it, but it makes it fun. It's I don't know. It's my entertainment. So this is actually not a difficult dish, although it may sound like it. It was rather simple, and it was absolutely outstanding. My wife, who's my best food critic, loved it. Made enough we had folks over the next night, and one of them, every time they took a spoonful, just said, after every bite, and I got a kick out of it, and they just they said it was great. Now, I have work to do. I never do anything as well as I could or should the first time. It's part of the learning curve. But I'm going to go down through some of the ingredients. The whole thing will be posted on the website with this, and I also want to give credit to where credit is due. I found this recipe online from an Annie Krabill, Krabill. And I just kind of used most of it, and then tweaked it a little bit based on what I had and didn't have in her recipe. And of course, there is a seafood stock that you can use for this, and you can either buy seafood stock in the store. It's hard to find sometimes, but it does exist. My wife didn't believe me, but it does exist. Like you might find pork stock or beef stock or vegetable stock or just a meat stock. There is also a vegetable stock. If you don't have it, right, you can make stock, and oftentimes you use like the shrimp shells and various things to make up a stock, and there's easy to pull up a seafood stock recipe. I was too lazy to do that. Couldn't find seafood stock. Was too lazy to buy my shrimp still shelled and all of that. Just didn't feel like it. So I decided I would kind of make my own by adding a little water with a little. You get the dry seafood fish. You can get cubes. You can get just granular, and I did like 4 cups of water to every little spoonful of the dried seafood stuff I got. But you can find that in various ethnic parts of the grocery store or anywhere. It's not that hard, right? And bottom line, I don't even know that it's that important, because with the seafood in it, it ends up getting that flavor anyhow. So I get some little neck clams. This recipe calls for 4 pounds. I think I did 2 to 4 pounds. I don't remember. A little bit of olive oil, some chorizo or any sort of little Spanish sausage. You don't need a lot of it. Just I think it's about 6 ounces. Some prosciutto, 2 slices is enough. 2 large onions, a green pepper, 3 cloves of garlic, a bay leaf, a pinch of saffron threads. I love saffron. It's not cheap, but you don't need much of it. It could last forever. If you don't have it, you can do without it, but I'm a big saffron fan. Some sweet paprika, unless you get the seasoned Spanish sausage. If your sausage is seasoned, then you won't need the paprika. Get a 14-ounce can of the San Marzano tomatoes. And then you'll end up, they're drained, roughly chopped, is how you want to put them into your container. A little bit of white wine. As I said, the shrimp or fish stock, or you can make your own. Some 2 pounds of large shrimp, a little bit of cream, and a little parsley. And so here's what I do. So you take your pan, you put a little olive oil in the bottom, you take that sausage, you break it up, you cook it in there, you chop up your prosciutto. You cook the prosciutto and the sausage at the same time, right? You just kind of get it. Maybe at first get that olive oil a little heated up. Gets that little shimmer going. When you get that little shimmer on there, a little medium-high heat, throw in the sausage, throw in the prosciutto. Cook that maybe 5 to 7 minutes. Then throw in your vegetables. That's the onions. That's the pepper. I did this where I cut the onions kind of half moon shaped, so they were kind of long. Interestingly, they got that almost like it was having pasta in the dish. It was really good. I would cut it the same way next time. It was very long because it's a big onion. If you half it and you moon it, you get a long piece in there. It gives a nice texture to the food. Same thing with the green pepper. After you cook that for 5 minutes or so, just starting to get a little translucent, throw in the garlic, stir that around a little bit. Then throw in your bay leaf, your saffron, kind of all of the herbs that you're going to use. Pour in that tomato, the tomatoes that I mentioned, the San Marzano tomatoes, and then your stock, right? So you've kind of gotten the meat cooked up first, then the vegetables, then get the spices in there so it's mixing with it, then throw in the more liquidy things, the stock and the tomatoes. Bring that to a boil. Once you get that to a boil, throw in your clams and your shrimp. I'll suggest to you, if you put your clams on ice first, put them in a bowl, throw a bunch of ice on top. That'll get them so they'll open up quicker once you start to cook it, right? And you want them cleaned, obviously. You check them, make sure they're clean, wash them a little bit first if you need to. The ones I got at the seafood store were very clean, very nice. I just chilled them for 10 or 15 minutes while I was getting the meal together. Then I threw them in there, put the lid on, cook it for about 20 minutes. Check it, 18 minutes, maybe stir it if you need to. When they're open up, when your clams have opened up, it's about 20 minutes, you're ready to go, and you serve it with some bread, maybe a little bread and olive oil on the side. Unbelievably good flavor. Unbelievably good flavor. Now I'm looking to do this dish again. What I thought I might do is I might add some fish to it, right? Or some other types of seafood. One of the things I was thinking about is I might make my stock if I have the time next time and do it. And when I serve this, so you have the open clam shells in the stew, which is fine. You're eating it, and then you can pull your clams out of it. I might actually use the clams and the shrimp, make my stock, remove the clams and the shrimp, and then put them in at the very, very end, because they'll already be cooked for making the stock. But that way you wouldn't have to actually grab anything in there like a shell and eat it. It would just be that much easier to eat. You can tell what my motivation is. I don't want anything to get in the way of my putting something in my mouth. So anyhow, give it a shot. It's a wonderful dish, wonderful flavor, and not too difficult. Thank you.